Hello and welcome back to the Goat Cave podcast. Today's guest is a lifelong shredder from Columbus, Ohio, who has recently come under fire after riding a government building in Ashland, Ohio. Local media and police have been claiming that Anthony Hitchcock, once a member of the U.S. Navy, is a criminal after damaging a rail and a ledge at an Ohio Department of Transportation building. The only thing I think Anthony is guilty of is having that East Coast style of riding that we all know and love. Anthony, how are you doing, dude?
I'm doing really good. How are you doing?
Dude, wonderful. It's really rad to be sitting down here with you today, and I just wanted to kind of give a little bit of an elaboration on the intro there. So I ended up finding out about you just through Facebook. The one day, I'm friends with Brant Moore on there. He posts this thing about a local rider who is basically online because people are just wanting to figure out who this guy is from riding this building. And I managed to just go through the comments and I found, I think it was your cousin on there. And I asked her to reach out to you for me. And dude, the thing that I love about the internet and the thing that I love about BMX is that there was no hesitation at all. She reached out and within an hour I was talking to you, which is really rad. I think that it's super needed, and that is like the coolest thing about BMX is that no matter what, all BMXers have each other's back, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the whole with Brant reposting that, or actually a lot of people reposted it. Brant is actually a pretty good homie of mine. He actually lives a town over for where the situation had happened at. So, with him living a town over, the exposure of the post got to over where he lives. And, with my cousin, I actually haven't seen her in a long time, but at times we keep in touch, and, she hit me up and I was like, she said, mention your podcast. And I was pretty stoked.
Definitely.
Because there's something about like someone talking about it compared to, like a text or like an Instagram post or a Facebook post that you don't get like the emotion behind it. So it's like getting like my actual voice and like the situation means a lot more. And I appreciate that you contacted me about it, because I think you feel the same way. Like there's probably a little bit more of the emotion behind it than what people perceive.
Definitely, man. Let's talk about this, man, because this is something that is so interesting to me. And of course, I mentioned quite a bit of it in the intro there. So yeah, why don't we just start at the beginning here? Last week, maybe a week before that, you were out riding and you decided to stop by the Ohio Department of Transportation. And there is an incredible setup where it's a kinked rail next to a ledge, and the kinked rail is kind of like a shallower, mellow kink rail, and the ledge is probably like a 4 foot tall like retaining wall ledge. And dude, the setup is perfect. Like I think every BMX rider in the world would see that and be like, whoa, dude, this has some options, because like it is nuts. And you managed to pull off probably the coolest trick that you could get out of that place as well. But yeah, from what I kind of gathered, you actually did this years ago too. So why don't you just tell us about the first time you laid eyes on this spot and having to go back to it 2 or 3 times to get what you wanted done, essentially.
Yeah, right. So like growing up in Ashland, the spots are limited, so you just do a lot of spot searching, and we came upon the Ohio Transportation facility, and we saw that spot, and I was like, holy shit. But like when I first saw the spot, like that was too big. Like it was something that I never even thought about hitting the spot, because I was like, that's above my pay grade, But so I saw the spot, but it was one of them things that kept playing in the back of my mind as I kept riding and kind of like fine tuning my skills. So I was like, that's a spot that I want to go back to and film. Of course, every rider wants to film like a video part. So back then, you know, we didn't have Instagram or anything. It was, I think, I'm not even quite sure the first time I did it, if YouTube even existed. It might have just started. I don't know. Anyways, I guess eventually came back to it, and I was like, I'm going to do the trick that you see. I want to do that. And actually it was kind of funny when I first did it. So my bike was garbage. Like it was one of them bikes that like I had to be very careful on what I did, because if I did anything else, my bike would break and then I wouldn't be able to ride for a month or so. So when I first tried the trick, I was like, I gotta land this. Like, there's no excuses. And I actually landed it like third try, like pretty easily. I don't know how, but I landed it, and I was like, and I got it on film. A buddy at the time filmed it, and we were filming for a video, if you want to call it a video, I don't know. And it never saw the light of day. I don't know what happened to the clip. I don't even know what camera we filmed it on. Probably wouldn't even look good if we watched it now, you know? And so that was that. And many, many years later, after I joined the Navy, when I got back out, I moved back to Ashland, and I started hanging out with my buddy Rob, the guy that I originally looked up to and whatever. And we started riding together, and I was like, we should film a video part. Like, at the time I felt really good, and he was feeling pretty good. I was like, we should film something. Let's do it. Let's just go to all the spots in Ashland, even if it's something that we've done before. Let's just do it again and get something going. So we went back to that spot, and he actually did the kinked rail in the middle, which is pretty cool because it's a very quick kinked rail, but he did that. I was like, I'm going to do the feeble, over feeble grind or whatever, 60-40 or whatever you want to call it. And the second time I tried it, it took me a while to actually land. For some reason, I was just going at the wrong angle. Finally, I landed it, got it on film, and I don't know, the clip just never really saw the light of day. I don't really know what ever happened to the clip, or everything that we filmed just never got out there. So fast forward another 5 years or so. I've been riding with guys down here. I moved down here to Columbus, and I've been riding with people that kind of really inspired me to really try. And I don't know, something lit a fire underneath me so I've been riding with this younger guy. His name's Jasper. Really great. He's an up and coming rider. Like, this guy is on another level, and his determination to land things is really fired me up. And then riding with Zach, riding with Stephen Hamilton, riding with Travis Collins, Bo, these guys down in Columbus, something just lit a fire underneath me. And I was actually, the day before I did this, I was at the Angles premiere down here in Columbus, by Scott Marceau. He did a premiere down here, and hanging out with all these guys, we rode around Columbus, watched the video. The next day, I was very motivated. I was like, I'm going back there. I'm going to film this clip. I'm going to make a little Instagram edit. Just kind of just show people I'm fired up. This is something I really love. And so, yeah, I went there, and the guy that I was supposed to meet up with, really good friend of mine. He was actually the guy that I originally got into BMX with. he wasn't quite ready yet. So I went there by myself, and I got it within a few tries. I think altogether I was only there for 20 minutes. I actually landed it twice. The first time I actually landed it, I was only on the, like, my tire was on the ledge, but my back peg was on the rail all the way down. But I wanted to be on the ledge at the end with my peg. So I tried it a few more tries before I actually was on the rail, then the ledge. And that was why I was there. I just wanted to refilm it because, like I said, the first 2 times never saw the light of day. And I was like, all right, let me film it again.
Definitely, man. And before we move forward, I just wanted to mention, I've dealt with having to go back to something and do it again just to, refilm it or whatever. Years ago, I was filming, my second BMX DVD. We weren't really too far into it, but even in the first video, a friend of mine really, really wanted to hit this rail. It was a 24 stair handrail with like wooden stairs. There's a grass hill beside it. It's honestly like a really small, like in the height of it kind of rail. And it's really not too bad. But he had kind of called it, and
Right.
I probably let him sit on it for about a year. We went there quite a few times. He just never hopped onto it, never really felt like doing it. So eventually I just show up there with a buddy of mine because we're in the neighborhood. I had done one handrail at this point, which was like a 7 stair, not even. And the guy was like, you should try it. I was like, I mean, I'll try. So we didn't even pull out my camera. He just pulled out his phone and he filmed it on his phone because I didn't want to piss off my buddy who still wanted to do it. So my thought was just like, don't tell him about it. Don't worry about it. Just leave it alone. Essentially, just do it and just let him take his time to get it. He already called it. So I didn't pull out my camera. Didn't do any of that. First try, I hop onto it and just, hop into the stairs afterwards. And second try, literally pulled it off perfectly on a phone camera. And I don't think that clip has ever seen the light of day. But if I can find it, I'll drop it in right here. But I don't even think that guy knows about it still. And that was like probably 6-7 years ago. And my thought is just like, whatever, right? So we take him back there. He looks at it, doesn't hop on, and we had brought a photographer who wanted to shoot like a sequence photo of it. So instead I was just like, well, fuck it. We already brought him here, so I'm doing it now. Like, I'll just do it again because I want a photo of this and I want to actually film it now. So it ended up being in my Space Goats video part, but it's just funny that it's literally like I've already done it before. I landed it second try, and when I went back to it, it probably took me about 10 tries to get it done. But I did it twice that day that I went back to it.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy.
Let's talk about the day that you pulled this off again. So obviously, you kind of mentioned there that took you a couple tries. I ended up looking it up online and just finding like when you originally arrived and started moving the mat and when you left. And I think it was literally like less than 15 minutes, which is crazy to think about,
Yeah, like I said, I think all and done, I was only there for like 20 minutes. And it's crazy. So I drove up from Columbus and I didn't warm up at all, which typically, I don't know how old you are. I mean, I want to say I'm old, but like at 32, like I got to warm up before I try something like that. Like,
yeah.
But I was like, there's no place to warm up in Ashland. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no skate park. There's nothing. So it was just like, all right, I'm going to just go there and I'm going to look at it. That was all I was going to do. I was going to look at it. I was going to take photos because I like taking photos of spots and then kind of like analyzing them, I guess, in a way, like, just have something to look at, like a spot that like you want to hit. And I was like, man, like there's no one here at all. Parking lot's empty. I'm like, all right, perfect. Like I'm just going to set my camera up. And then like, if I actually feel it, I might just hit it. And so I've been riding quite a bit lately. So I've been like a little bit more confident in trying rails or rail to ledge combos or just really anything. And Yeah, I moved the mats out of the way because like the run up's kind of short. Like it's like the door, and then it's a decent amount of run up to where like you can decide if you want to do it or not.
Definitely.
So yeah, I moved the mats out of the way because the mats were like right in my path, and I was like, I think I'm going to do this. Like I was looking at it and I was like, not really warmed up, but I feel like and that's why I did crash a couple times. Cause like I was not warmed up. So like I kept getting like that weird hop kind of feeling. Like when you first get on your bike and you try to do a bunny hop and it's like terrible. Like that's kind of how I felt. But my adrenaline was going cause I crashed kind of. And obviously it was just like a situation where I was like, I don't want to be here too long. Like, I don't want to like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I was just like, all right, let's get it. Like I did my hop and I kind of crashed a little bit and my adrenaline's going. It's go time now. Let's see if I can actually get it.
Definitely. And, what I find so interesting about this is just the fact that like you managed to get the security footage out of this essentially, which I think we've all joked about at one point, just as BMX riders. And not also this too, man, like, let's be real here. I think every BMX rider, that rides street, you go out to a spot, you get your shit done and you just leave and that's the end of it, right? If you filmed it, then you've got the clip. And I think most of the time, none of this would ever happen, right? It's pretty wild what we're about to talk about here. So why don't you walk us through, how long it took from you to leaving the spot until you end up finding your face on Facebook with threats of criminal charges?
Yeah, so I landed the trick and I packed my things up and I got out of there. I mean, I was there for, like I said, only like probably about 20 minutes or so. I met up with my buddy, a guy that, like I said, I started riding with, stopped riding for many, many, many years. He's just now getting back into it. I think I've kind of motivated him to get back into riding. So he's built his bike up and I met up with him and we rode Worcester Skate Park, which is Brant Moore's like home park. That's where he's always at. We rode there and that was a Sunday when I met up with. So yeah, when I was at the spot, it was a Sunday. Rode with my buddy. Was that? Yeah, it was Sunday. And then so Monday rolled around, nothing. It wasn't until Tuesday morning that my dad called me. Now I'm at work and, this goes to the people that think that like, I don't have there were some comments from people like, this guy doesn't have a life. Like I have a full-time job, like I was at work and my dad called me like 8 a.m. and my dad never just calls me at 8 a.m. So I was like, shoot, like I might have to take this call. Like, I don't know what he's calling me for. And I answered and, he was like, you're plastered all over Facebook right now, about criminal trespassing or something. And I'm like, what? And I was confused at first. I'm like, what do you mean criminal trespassing? And he was like, you were riding your bike somewhere in Ashland. And I was like, that spot was the only spot that I rode at in Ashland that day. And I'm like, no shit. So like, then I went on to Facebook. He sent me the link and I went on to Facebook and I was like, are you kidding me? So it was clearly my face. So there was photos that they posted and it was clearly me. I mean, I had people that I hadn't talked to since high school hit me up and like, yo, like, this is definitely you, right? Like, yeah, it's definitely me. So being the better man, like I just, I called it was the State Highway Patrol. They were the ones that were on the call. So I called them right after I talked to my dad. I called them right away. I was like, that was me in the video. And like, oh, okay. Yeah, I appreciate you calling. And in that conversation, the cop that was on the case, highway patrolman, I asked him, I was like, I've never been in this. I actually have never been in this situation before. Of all the street routing I've ever done in my life, I've never been in this situation. So it was like, I don't really know how to go about this. I don't really know like the situation, but I was like, is it possible if I fix cause he was like, they're looking at, cause when I read the post, they're like criminal damage or whatever. I was like, is there any way I can just fix the spot myself? Like, he's like, that could be an option. Let me get a hold of them and see what happens. I'm like, okay, cool. I figured at that point, why not? Like, why can't I just fix it?
Definitely. And, what I think is so wild about this whole situation is just how much media got behind this. And like, it fucking blows me away, dude. There's 2 different articles online from like credible news sources, including the Cleveland, news source basically. And then there's another one too. And then the other one, dude, I had a good laugh today because, they're trying to charge you with criminal damage and whatnot. And let me just pull this up real quick. So this right here. Sorry.
Is that the Ashland Times-Gazette?
Yeah. So this one, they have the damage to the spot. It's like, dude, all it is just like black marks from your pegs. That literally would just wipe off. Like if you really just went there with a brush, you could just get that off of there, right? Like there's a few different like little things, but there is no damage to this spot. There's nothing structural that's damaged. There's nothing that's like super fucked up that you did to this spot. You didn't graffiti on it. You didn't go there and like purposely fuck with it. You just went there, did a trick and left. And like, it blows me away to think about how the fuck they even figured this out. And one thing that I wanted to ask about was you moved the mats to do this trick. Did you move them back afterwards?
That's really funny you point that out because I know a lot of people posted in the comments on Facebook. They thought that I put the mats back, but it was actually the photos that they posted were me moving the mats. I never put them back. So I think that's what brought the attention.
That's what did it, dude. That's definitely what did it.
I know I should have put the mats back and it's fucked up because I even thought about putting him back. And I, like I said, I've been to that spot a couple times and I did the same thing. And I never thought second of it. Like I was like, those mats have been there a long time. They might be new, but like the mats are always there. And every time I've been there, I move the mats or one of us move the mats and never put them back. And I think this time they're like, all right, someone moved the mats. Why did they move the mats? And I think that's what
that's definitely what happened. Yeah, I guarantee that they were there that morning. It's a Monday morning that they show up. The mats aren't there. What the hell? What's wrong? Like, why aren't the mats here? They hop on there and they look. And what I think is so funny, too, is in the Facebook post, they don't actually share that you landed the clip. They don't share that at all. They didn't share any video footage. They just have photos of you. And then there is so many people in the comments being like, oh, I want to see if you landed it. You better post the land. To the point on where they did. They posted that you landed it. The clip literally plays in the Facebook comments. And I don't know, man. I just think it's so ridiculous how above and beyond they're going for this, right? It's laughable, honestly. There's so much other shit that these people could be doing, right? And even if it is just the like Ministry of Transportation people or whatever it is, dude, go and find people with fucked up cars. Go find stuff that's within your lane. Don't be getting mad about this. This is so stupid, right? Like, It's 100%
Right.
someone that had a really shitty day the day before. You know, they come in, they're all pissed off, and then they see you as a winner. You came there, you conquered that battle, and you won. And then all of a sudden, it's a big deal. You know, it's crazy to me.
Oh, it blew up and people spoke their word. There was a couple negative comments, which is fine. People are entitled to their opinion. You know, like I'm not mad about that, but like the positivity behind it was pretty crazy. And the fact that people were like, this is ridiculous. Like this is to me, and now after reading all the comments, you know, don't get me wrong, like, was I supposed to be there? No. You know, I could see the criminal trespassing part or just trespassing, whatever. But damage, come on. You could sweep that on the rug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the post, the original post, the person that posted these photos or everything, he's not an actual cop. He's not a part of the law enforcement. From what I've gathered, this individual, I don't know him personally, but he runs a Facebook page specifically for Ashland. So anything that happens in Ashland, this guy's posting about it. He helps the law enforcement, and I guess the law enforcement realize that this guy's got a following. Everything that he posts, people are seeing and commenting on. So the law enforcement have been using him as a way of like finding people, you know, and so like they'll post a photo of something. For instance, it was a few weeks prior to my situation. Someone was in downtown Ashland destroying property, actual property. And there was security footage of him. And he, you know, the cops came to him and they gave him the photos and everything. And he reposted it since he already has a following and he has, you know, eyes on his page. It was a way for the cops to help narrow down, and they did find the person. So like this guy that runs this page is not a cop. He's just a normal guy. Dude, from what I've gathered. Yeah.
That's fucking weird. I don't know. I just feel like at some point, if you're that guy, you kind of have to look at things and be like, am I really fighting for the greater good here? You know, like, I wonder if he's getting paid to do that. That's the only thing that, like, who knows, man.
You could put this on there or not. I know the guy, he has nothing else going on. I don't know if he's retired. He's just one of them guys that's just
this is just his hobby, eh?
That's just his hobby. Like I think he might do photos himself. Like he goes to let's say there was a crash on the highway. Like he goes there and takes photos and stuff. Like he's one of them. I think there's a movie on that where these guys like, that's like their thing. Like they go and take photos and make videos of crash scenes and stuff along the lines of that. I don't know the guy, so I can't really give much more of an opinion other than he just has nothing else ever to do.
That's definitely what it is. Yeah. Yeah, so a couple minutes ago, we kind of talked about why you turned yourself in, essentially, you know, basically just being that you wanted to be responsible and say, hey, that's me, you know. I was really curious because obviously Ashland only has a population of about 20,000. So at the end of the day, people are going to find out pretty quickly, right? I grew up in a small town of 800. So like if something happens, everybody knows the next day. Did you kind of think that maybe that would be the case and that things might be a little worse off if you didn't kind of step forward, essentially?
Yeah, you know, I grew up in a background where like honesty it's a key essential to our life. It just, you know, being honest will get you further in life kind of thing. So when my dad called me, he's like, you should turn yourself in. And when I saw the photos, I'm like, man, that's clearly me. And before I even called the police department, the highway patrol, like, I I had people message me like, dude, you're all over. So I was like, at least at one point, my name would have got out there. Like, there's no doubt about it. So like, it's kind of funny. Like, it kind of goes two ways. So like, if the photos weren't clear of who it was, I probably wouldn't have said. I probably wouldn't have called in, maybe.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Because like, I'm a street rider. Like, I just don't. I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way to like say, oh yeah, that was me. Like the photos are very pixelated, but that's me. But no, this was clearly me. There's no getting away from that. And I just felt like, I guess like, I felt like if I would call in, I could just like resolve the issue right then and there.
Yeah. And I think that takes a lot of guts, man. Honestly, I think that like, to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to come and face this head on, you know, it's very brave. And it's also like, you know, cause at the end of the day, you don't know what's going to happen. I know that you had kind of thought, you know, maybe they'll look at this and say, you know what, you're fine. Like you did the right thing. You told us, just come down here, scrub the ledge clean and you're good. Right. But, unfortunately that's not really the route they wanted to take. So I guess, before we even like, set a date for this episode, you were saying that you had to go down there first and figure out what the deal was, right? So, you know, last Saturday, which you know, we're filming this on August 18th. So last Saturday, what happened? You went down to where and found out what essentially?
Yeah, so like I guess so when I got when they posted it was on a Tuesday. I called the cop right away, and he was like, "Can you come and pick the paperwork up today?" And I was like, "I live down in Columbus. I can't. Like, I work. I can come on the weekend." So that's why I came on a Saturday. So I waited all week. You know, getting a bunch of, you know, people wanting to know what the situation was, and so I came there on a Saturday. Went in. My dad, he has his own attorney, and he was like, "This is what you should do. If they ask any more questions, don't answer them. Just go in there, get your paperwork, depending on the situation, whatever." I go in there. The cop, the highway patrolman, cop, whatever, super nice guy. He handed me the paperwork, and he's like, "So like, I called them. And I told him that you wanted to offer to do the repairs yourself, and they declined, that they wanted to take this route." And they handed me two papers. One of them said criminal trespassing. The other said criminal damage. And I was kind of like mind blown. I'm like, wow, like seriously? And it was the cop. He didn't even know really what he was looking at, because if you look at the definition of criminal damage, it's like going to an establishment and breaking glass, burning stuff, using chemicals, you know. And that's what's so interesting about, like, let's just say skateboarding and BMX and stuff like that. Like, should there be another definition for what they consider damage? Like, because criminal damage is the word sounds, it's very intimidating. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, like, the cop was kind of like, I don't even know what I was looking at. Like, I kind of feel bad. Like he didn't know, like, and when they called, like, that's my assumption of the call. Like, you know, ODOT called them like, "Hey, we got a criminal damage situation here." And the cop shows up and he's like, "I have no idea what I thought I was coming here to look at like broken glass or something that someone burnt, you know, like."
Yeah.
And so I think the cop was kind of confused, and it was funny because he asked me, he's like, "Have you tried calling them and telling them that you wanted to fix this situation?" I was like, I didn't know I could call them and ask them that. I thought, like, when I called you originally, that like he did himself call, but like, I didn't know I could just, he like, it was almost like he could tell that this was way, like, they were making it go way too far than it really had to be.
Definitely. And I think that's really cool that, just this guy basically, he's a police officer and even he knows it's a waste of time, like it's not up to
Right.
him at the end of the day. He's essentially a middleman in this situation. And what I
Right,
love is that
exactly.
he's even saying, guys, this is fucking ridiculous,
Yeah, 100%. And it really is, because it's like, I mean, this guy, this cop, he has way bigger things to worry about. But like, I think a lot of people are saying that they were trying to show an example, and it's like, example of what? Like, what's the example here? Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but I've been there multiple times, and so have people from the past. So it's like, whatever. I'm trying to use this situation, and I'm trying to turn it into a positive situation. It's unfortunate that they're taking it to this extent. I mean, like I said, criminal damage is like, the definition is literally someone that's burning a place down, breaking glass, throwing something through glass, and using chemicals or like a bomb. And it's like, I was on my bicycle, a BMX bike, like,
yeah, with
there should be a different,
plastic pegs,
right,
plastic pedals. Like,
right.
the damage that you did to that ledge is nothing. That will literally like just take, a brush to it and it'll be fine. You won't even know the difference, honestly.
Exactly. It's like, dude, I could fix that so easily. And it's very unfortunate that they look at it as like a criminal thing. And it's like, man, like, you like, the way that you view criminal things is just kind of disgusting. Like, come on, like, this isn't criminal at all. Like, the definition of criminal damage is not this. Like, I was there by myself, and I called right away, and I offered to fix it myself. And for them to still say no, like, we want to go this route, just goes to show that, like, they want to burn people. Like, what harm have I caused to them? Like, it's not like, I mean, I don't know. It just kind of blew my mind.
Dude, you went there.
I think it blew everyone else's mind.
Yeah, absolutely. You went there on a day where nobody was working, so you couldn't bother anybody. Literally, I think the only thing that you're guilty of is not putting those mats back and making somebody take 30 seconds out of their day to put them back. Like, realistically, that's the only thing that you really did. And it really sucks that that's the way that they want to go about this, because honestly, I've seen it in the past, and I bet we'll see it again in the future. But I already know that, like, now everybody in the BMX world wants to go to Ashland and ride shit, because that's just how we are as people. We're like, oh, dude, this guy got in trouble for this. Like, let's really show him. There was even a comment on there. I don't know if somebody shared the post or if it was a comment in there, but it literally said, just watch, next Sunday you're gonna have 45 people there riding that ledge. Like, and it's so true, right? Even Sean Burns chimed in, and he like posted a photo of him doing a gap to hanger, or like a gap to tooth. It's like, Ashland has some great rails. Like,
yeah, I know.
You're just making the situation worse, right? Now everybody knows where this spot is. Everybody knows that there's an awesome kinked rail there and all this stuff. And I'm not saying that people should go out and do that. I mean, it's BMX at the end of the day. It's street riding. Go find something to grind. But dude, it's just like them blowing
go there. They should go there and to see, like, what's the problem? Like they're like, that's what's so crazy is, like, it's not, it doesn't even compare to what's going on in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, someone riding a rail on a ledge, you're saying that is a criminal situation when we literally have a drug pandemic going on. We have people killing each other. We have sex trafficking problems all throughout Ohio. And it's like, this is literally what you want to focus your attention on right now. Like, you could have swept that under the rug. As far as my opinion goes, like, really, like, I don't know. That's my opinion. Like, I don't feel like they should have gone that far with it.
Definitely not.
the Sean to go back to the Sean Burns thing, like I saw him comment on it, and I messaged him, and we kind of went back and forth a little bit. You know, what's really funny is that rail is definitely not in Ashland, so I think he got the wrong Ashland confused.
Yeah, probably Ashland, Oregon. Yeah,
he's either Ashland, Oregon, or there's also an Ashland, Kentucky.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, it's funny that he commented on it, and I definitely reposted that because like, holy shit, like Sean Burns fucking commented on this shit.
Yeah.
Like that's how far it's gone. Like how the fuck? I thought that was pretty cool, but I didn't tell him that that's the wrong Ashland because that rail is definitely not in Ashland, and the town I grew up in.
Fair enough. Yeah, man. Dude, what's crazy about this is that I have literally had, this has happened multiple times where people have either broken into my house or they've tried to break into my house. And guess what? None of those people got criminal charges. And like, it just goes to show, right, that they're just going to say, no, you're good. Like, you know, just don't come back. Right. And even the one, I'm like, dude, I had somebody that had to be tackled to the ground in my office, literally exactly where I'm sitting, just right across from it. There's two cops there tackling this dude to the fucking ground while I'm sitting here. And, you know, that dude, guess what? Never gotten any shit because of it. Because, like, I could have done something about it, but I decided not to. I said, nope, this guy just had a really fucked up day. You know, he's probably not feeling very great. And you know what? Here's something that's going to make your life a little bit easier is I'm not going to be that fucking guy that's going to try and take you to court for everything you have, you know, like it's ridiculous.
Well, you're a real human being. Like I said, the guy, whoever is prosecuting me with this stuff, like their intentions, like they don't even know me. They don't really know my situation, you know, like I had no harm in hurting anybody or the spot. Like I said, I try my best to not destroy shit when I ride. I mean, it comes with street riding. Like you're gonna fucking destroy things here and there, but like I don't personally go out of my way to like destroy a spot. I want to ride it again. You know what I'm saying? But like they kind of blew it out of proportion. Like we need to change the definition of certain, like that's what I'm saying with the law. They have a definition that can mean many things, but like they're saying criminal damage. Like I rode a bicycle on a spot, and the only definition that they could find for that is criminal damage. And it's like criminal damage is, like I said, the main definition is like burning something down, breaking glass, using chemicals, starting a bomb, like lighting a bomb or something. And it's like, that's crazy that riding a bicycle on a spot is in the same category as all that. Like,
yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. I think that
it doesn't make sense.
I think that itself will really help your case just in general. Cause it's like, it's not the same, you know, it's not the same.
That's how Ashland is. Ashland is like, I've had a lot of comments from people who are like, you should do this and that for this situation. It's like, you don't understand the Ashland police. They're a strong force, which rightfully so. Like we got a drug problem, but like sometimes they can go a little far with other situations that don't need to.
Yeah, definitely
be that big. And it's like, you know, I do appreciate cops and what they do. And like, I have no hate against them, but it's just little things like that. It's like, come on, we need to figure this out. Like, let me talk to the company that has the problem. And if we can't come up with a solution, then yeah, let's go the court route. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just
definitely
now I got to really take a day off to go to court, and I have to get an attorney. And unfortunately, like to me, I use the unfortunate because like I never wanted to have a GoFundMe. Like I just never, that's not even in my nature to ever do so. But it's like one of them situations where like I just got my own place and everything down here, and it's like I'm not even the spot to go to court. You know what I'm saying? Financially, like It just blows my mind. As you know as well, street riding, that's the last thing that we think about. We don't ever think that it could go that far. Like it's crazy.
Literally.
Now, let's say that I was there and the owner showed up and was like, I could maybe see the situation, but it's like, man, I was there for 20 minutes and I left.
Yeah, literally.
I fucked up by not putting the rug back. I didn't put the rugs back.
I knew it,
That was
dude.
what happened.
I knew it going into this. I'm like, he didn't put that rug back. That's what the problem is.
And everyone in the comments were like, at least he put the rug back. It's like, I know I didn't. That was actually me moving the rug.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, what do you do, eh? It sucks that this is going to court, but I have a good idea of like exactly how it's going to go. A judge is going to get this put in front of them and they're just going to be like, we have bigger shit to deal with. This is ridiculous. And like, my thought is I hope it does get thrown out because it is just ridiculous. Like, there's no reason to be wasting money doing this, like, at all. So,
right. And it's on me. Do I even really need an attorney? But it's like, at the same time, it's like, I don't want them. Like, I want them to go the route that you're talking, but like, I don't want them to think too deeply about it. So I was like, maybe I should just get an attorney.
Definitely. No, you definitely should. Anytime you're doing anything with like law or court or whatever, like just get an attorney because it sounds really shitty, but you don't know fuck all and you need to pay somebody that knows what they're doing, right? That's the main thing. Like, get someone that knows what they're doing, that can fight your battle for you, because there is no reason for you to go in and end up getting in a worse situation than you were in originally, right?
Exactly right. Yeah, I'm trying to get the best outcome, and it's like I feel like if I have an attorney, I do have an attorney, and I've been explaining my situation, and he understands. He's like, I'm going to talk to him like a real human. Like this is absurd. Like,
yeah,
like, why are we here? Like, we really came this far for this. You know?
Definitely.
I hope the judge sees that, but it's like, you got to think, like, who is it? Is this judge old school as fuck? And like, he thinks that something like that is criminal. Like, I don't know. Like I said, Ashland's an old school town. Like, no one rides there anymore. I literally, I will say that I'm the only rider there, other than my buddy that I was about to meet up who just got back into riding. I'm the only guy that rides in that town, BMX.
Yeah.
And it's been years since people have ridden there. Like, I don't ride there often, but if I do ride there, they don't worry about a BMX problem. They also don't worry about a skateboarding problem because it doesn't happen anymore. We don't have a skate park. We don't have anywhere to ride. It's scared people. They've scared people away from doing so, which is unfortunate.
Dude, especially with BMX being in the Olympics this past year, that was like less than a month ago. There's people that are like Olympians, right? Logan Martin is now an Olympian, a gold medal Olympian. And like, talk all the shit you want, but Logan park riding is still BMX. He's still doing it on 20-inch wheels, he's still out there on a fucking BMX bike, whether it be street, park, dirt, flatland, or anything in between, it's all BMX at the end of the day. And just because
it really is,
just because one person rides street and one person rides dirt, it's not that fucking different, dude. Like, it's really not at the end of the day.
Well, no kidding. I mean, the park had rails on it anyway, so it's like, I don't know if they were allowed to ride the rails, but it either way, like BMX is BMX. Like, you could ride street and only do trail stuff. You don't have to grind. You could just hop over stuff or ride up a tree or something, But it's crazy how stuff like that is viewed in smaller towns, and it's like that throughout the U.S. Maybe the whole country, the whole world.
Yeah, no, definitely, dude.
I know, and like I said, like I know in Ohio, like depending on where you go, like it's really looked at as a criminal act, and it's very unfortunate. Like, you actually have to be careful. Now I really know you have to be careful, but like just depending on where you go, like you could get pulled over and deal with a situation that goes way further than you ever thought just by riding your
Definitely.
bike or a skateboard. It's like, man,
Yeah,
just
no,
trying to have fun.
absolutely, dude. It's ridiculous, right? And like I think the first thing that they need to really realize is that like if you're not going to give them a place to go and do this, then you kind of have to expect this to happen because no matter what, people are going to ride BMX, people are going to be into skateboarding, right? People are going to want to go and do these things. So why not just give them a small place to go and do it? And I don't know,
Right.
man. I think things go a lot further if you don't try and fight them like this, right? Like this battle that they're fighting is a losing battle. Like it's ridiculous. And I think that once it reaches court, they're going to see that, oh, this person did 6 years in the Navy. This person is an upstanding citizen who has nothing else on his record at all. And they're basically just going
Right.
to say, why would we ruin his reputation over this 13-minute thing that happened once, right? Like I think that
Right. Yeah.
they'll probably hopefully they the people that are kind of running the show are a little bit smarter.
Right. No. Yeah, totally. Because if the situation becomes more serious, like I think people will blow up, be like, yo, like, what the fuck? Like, like,
Yeah.
I think it'll go positive and it'll get resolved. But also as we were talking, like, if we have nowhere to go to ride, what do they expect? So with that situation, I did post something on Facebook about, I don't want any other kid or adult to be in this situation that I'm in. If, street riding is always going to be there regardless, but in Ashland, if they really are this serious about it and they want to press criminal charges on people, trespassing, damage, then we need a skate park. No questions asked. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've gotten to the point, dude, if you look at it, BMX sales are at the all-time high.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not like, I know there's kids in Ashland that love riding bikes. I know there's kids in Ashland that love skateboarding. There's nowhere to do it. And most kids, no kid just starts off riding street. Like I would say, here and there we might, but like for the most part, we start off by riding park. We don't have that option anywhere close, and it's like, we did have a skate park. Actually, it was all donation based, but 1 year they decided to demolish everything. I'm just like, seriously? Like, I don't know why. So it's been many years after that. So I'm trying to take this situation, this opportunity, this negative opportunity in my case, turn it into a positive opportunity and hopefully get something resolved in Ashland. Like, I would love for there to be a skate park in Ashland, and I know it's not going to be an easy task, but like, I would like to put some effort towards getting something going
Absolutely,
toward that
man.
way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's really needed, and like you kind of need it, right? It's important that they do get a skate park, whether it just be a small cement pad with prefab ramps or whatever, right? Like it's you're not gonna see like success unless you put that in there, right? Like if they want to have future Olympians, whether it be, BMX skate or whatever, why don't you start by putting in something small and then someone can say, hey, I started here with this and, kind of
Right.
provide an example, right? Like, and like you said, BMX is at an all-time high right now for sales and whatnot, and that just means that there's more people getting into it. The scene's getting bigger, and in about 5 years from now, there's going to be a whole lot more street riders. So, like it's just kind of how things go, I guess.
Build a street park. Like, give us the rails, give us the ledge combinations and stuff like that. Like, it's really crazy I would love to see something come to Ashland that we have a lot of towns surrounding us that have skate parks, like smaller towns in Ashland that have skate parks. And it's like, what's holding you guys back from this situation? Like, just hopefully with my situation, I can present it to the mayor. I've actually talked to the Parks and Rec guy in our town. He's a newer guy. I talked to him 3 years ago about getting a skate park, and nothing happened of it. It takes a lot, and it's a lot of money to build a skate park. But it's like, man, like just trying to figure it out more and more, how to get something going.
Definitely.
Yeah. We even have a new bike shop in Ashland. It's mainly for like road bikes and stuff like that, but he does sell BMX bikes. So I'd like to get a hold of him and be like, yo, like you're selling BMX bikes with pegs on it. Like if you want your business to go up, like, like let's get a skate park going.
Definitely, dude. Yeah. Yeah. I bet you that would, just having somebody like that owns a shop where they sell multiple different kinds of bikes would really help kind of bring that point home too, right? Because it sounds really stupid, but money talks, right? If people can see that this guy's going to profit from having BMX there and having a like skate park, then who knows, man? People will see that it's important, right? Like it's I don't know, it's kind of a shitty way to look at it, especially as like a BMX purist, because most things it's like most BMX riders only want to support BMX owned shops, right? And like we only want to spend our money within our industry, if that makes sense. So who knows?
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think getting a skate park there is super important, and I hope that they can kind of see this situation and understand why it's important and move towards that.
Oh, it's super important. I've had a lot of parents hit me up saying that, like, they were like, I support you saying that you want a skate park, because that's what I wanted to bring up was BMX and skateboarding, it's an Olympic sport now, so it's not just a toy like I've been told my whole life, like you're riding a child's toy. It's like, no, like this is not just a child's toy, like this is my instrument, like this is something that I love to do, and obviously it's gone to the point where it's an Olympic sport. Like we need to fill the gap. So like the big problem in small towns, specifically Ashland, is they're so quick to building new bars and restaurants and fast food joints, which I did post about. Like we have 3 Taco Bells in Ashland. It's a small town. We have 3 Taco Bells. Like there's money coming into the town, and it's like, so there's a gap where like there's kids that are too old for a playground, but they also don't want to affiliate themselves with organized sports like football, basketball, baseball. Where's that gap to fill? Like there's a lot of kids that want to, ride bikes, skateboard, scooter, if you want, you know what I'm saying? Or rollerblading, something to fill that void of like you're too old for a playground, but you also don't like organized sports. Here's another option for you.
Another lifelong option, by the way. I'm like, you're 32 years old. You've been riding BMX for over 20 years,
Right, exactly.
I'm 25. I've literally been riding BMX for almost 12 years, which is pretty much half my life, dude. And that's not getting any smaller. Like, I'll be riding BMX until I'm 50, 60, like it's something that it's always going to be there. And I think that people need to kind of realize that and put the importance behind it as if it was baseball or hockey or football,
Right. Yeah. It's a passionate sport. Like it is a sport to me. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I grew up loving football and everything, but like at the end of the day, the one thing that I've always wanted to continue was BMX, but it can be hard when you have life's society pressure on you, plus a town telling you that it's so wrong to do something. But like now that I think that's in the Olympics, I think that can change things. It's like, okay, so like the thing that we've considered a criminal act is an Olympic sport. It's like, you know, give the kids at least the opportunity to have a spot to ride and improve on their skills. And for me, like, and everyone else who rides skateboards or whatever, like it's kept me the most sane throughout life. Like that's like my therapy. It really is. I can hop on my bike at any moment and just, you know, be happy.
Dude, definitely. And, you know, what's crazy too is that these people are trying to make you a criminal when realistically, I think BMX, skateboarding, and all this stuff keeps kids out of getting into that, dude. It keeps kids away from drugs. It keeps kids away from that. I think most people see it as like, oh, you know, they're going to the skate park. They're probably going to go drink and smoke pot and graffiti. And it's like, that is such an old, shitty stereotype. A lot of kids, I don't know if it's just from where I am, but being in Canada, like pot's legal. And guess what? I think I'm the only one out of my friend group who occasionally smokes weed. It's funny that like BMX, it's essentially just one part of like someone's lifestyle, and it keeps them away from harmful shit in their teens. You know, I never had time to go to parties when I was in high school because I wanted to go and ride my bike instead. I never had time to fucking experiment with drugs or anything because I stayed away from it because I was on my bike. Like it's funny that like people on the outside, they don't see that, right? They just see this negative stereotype of BMX riders, skateboarders, and any of these people who hang out at a skate park is like drug addicts who graffiti and you know, probably do other bad shit. Like ridiculous.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like the criminal charges that they're putting me towards are ridiculous because literally when I was in the Navy, I mean, I lived on a military base, I would say a good part of my naval career. And I brought my bike out and I rode on base literally every single day in the parking lot of either base that I was ever stationed on. I rode my bike out in the parking lot, and that was my therapy. And I even had so like when I was on the bases, there's like military housing for officers or higher ups. I've had them come out and just be like, they like kind of are like, that's cool to see that someone still does. I never expected to see a bike rider on a military base, but the fact that you're doing this kind of like motivates me. I love to see that people are still doing this. So like, I never got criticized on a military base for riding my bike. Like it was, people were like, that's so cool that people are still doing this. Even the fact that I'm in the military, I rode every day on my bike on a military base to keep my own positivity up, but also people saw me and it like brought joy to them too. Like they're like, dude, like that's so cool. Like I grew up riding officers, you know what I'm saying? Like people in high positions in the military, like coming up to me and like, that's cool that you're still doing this, you know?
Definitely, dude.
It's like, man, like I get praised for doing that on a military base, and it's like I come back. It's a small town that I left originally to get away from the negativity, and it's like stuff like that happens, you know? It's like really
ridiculous.
And
man.
I put it's like I came at them with all positivity, and like they still want to take it to another direction, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
Yeah. Moving forward, we are pretty much at the end of the show here. Let's hop over to the fan questions. And then after that, we'll hop into the last one that I got for you. So, this first one comes in from our favorite local BMX shop, Harvester Bikes. My good friend Anthony at Harvester Bikes wants to know, what are your plans after going viral?
I'm going to continue riding my bike, filming stuff, Mainly probably by myself, but since living in Columbus, I've been trying to get more into the local scene here and trying to see if I can incorporate myself with the local riders and hopefully get some more videos going for the local scene. Yeah,
Definitely, man. Yeah,
I'm gonna still ride.
that is really sick, man. I'm really hoping to see some videos and whatnot. Like your riding is so sick, dude. Everything that I've seen on Instagram has just been like top notch, dude. Such a sick style. Like you've got that, like, it sounds so weird, but like that traditional East Coast BMX style where it's all about like just do one trick but do it really really good, where like you've got an awesome feeble down this like ledge, and then also obviously your 60/40 combo that we've been talking about all day. But yeah, like just so many awesome clips, and your riding is great. So I'd love to see something full length with you and your homies, and spin everything into a positive.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely. And then this one comes in from Barebones 813. What motivates you to go out and self-film? And before we jump into that question, I just wanted to mention last week I took a train about 2 hours from where I live and went and just basically went on my own to go and ride BMX and go to a bike shop jam. And one of the things I wanted to do was go and self-film. And I've always had just some weird situations with self-filming where a good friend of mine put himself into some pretty bad situations, just, getting really, really hurt self-filming. So it's always been really weird for me. So, what's your tips kind of working through that?
Um, it's kind of weird. Like I'm a pretty introverted person. So like I even from the get go with riding, I did have homies to ride with, but for some reason I've always found more motivation to ride by myself. Tips. Of course, just have like your phone close by just in case. I actually do carry like a little medical kit with me, like nothing crazy, just, your basic medical stuff. But I also typically don't really try. So like, I don't know if you ride the same way, but like when I'm by myself, I typically try to find stuff that like, it's like,
It's
not
too
hard.
It's not too above your skill level, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. If it's above my skill level by myself, I won't do it by myself. Like I want someone else. And that's actually been my issue with, I guess, like filming is, there is a lot of stuff that I want to do, but I don't want to do it like by myself. I can't get the angle by myself. Actually, that's another thing is like, there's a lot of stuff I won't do because of the angle. Like I personally can't get the angle by myself. So I'm not going to go out of my way to do the trick if I'm just not going to be able to get the angle.
Yeah.
The motivation part, it's tough. Like I said, recently, something that lit a fire underneath me is, growing up, we watched videos, always motivates me. And nowadays there's so many videos, but like the things that just really kind of keep me going, I always go back to animal videos. Any animal video always pumps me up. And then also recently riding with some of the local homies has been really pumping me up. Zach, Stephen Hamilton, Jasper, like, dude, these guys are killing it. And that's kind of what's kind of keep me motivated.
Definitely. How local is Ryan Howard to you? So I think he's more like New York, right?
I think he lives in Ohio. That's another guy.
Yeah.
That's another guy. Yeah. He's another, I did meet him for the Angles premiere. I didn't actually talk to, we rode around Columbus and then I saw him at the premiere, but I actually haven't had like a full on conversation with the guy. I think if I'm not mistaken, he lives on the outskirts of Columbus somewhere. But that's another guy that's, I mean, his exposure in BMX is pretty big, and his riding is something that I look up to as another animal rider. Yeah. So yeah, I met him that's the day before actually I did that trick.
Oh
So it's
wow.
guys, yeah. So it was guys like him, Zach, Jasper, like Travis, Bo, like all them guys I've just met, and I don't know, it was just something about meeting them guys and watching them ride in person that like I was like, man, like that's what got me motivated the next day to ride. You know what I'm saying? Like I really typically wouldn't go out of my way to go back to a spot that I've already filmed a few times, but just like I said, riding with those guys and then watching the angles video and like, just like, you know, Scott, how I met him too, when he premiered the video, and it was just really motivating to me. Stuff like that.
Definitely.
I love them little videos that people are doing. It super motivates me.
Yeah,
I met,
absolutely.
yeah. So yeah, Ryan, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know him too well. Hopefully I get to meet him more and hang out with him more. Like I said, those guys are very motivating to me, even just to watch them ride is a true honor, you know, like these guys are legit riders and they're street riders, like, like street riders, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I love that shit. I
Yeah,
love watching that stuff.
absolutely, man. Yeah, all those dudes are unreal. They all kill it. Ryan Howard has been really popping off lately. I saw a clip of him like a week ago. I think he was doing a 180 X up backwards grind down a rail, which is just like, dude,
Right. Yeah.
how, you know? Like
That's next
so
level.
crazy. Yeah, next level shit all the time with him. Um
Well,
but yeah, Anthony, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on. And before we end off, I've got another question for you. So, if you could give any advice to others who might be in the similar situation that you're in currently, what would it be?
um, you know, I guess be honest with the situation. Like, you know, work with the, like, whoever the establishment is, like if it, you know, like say if it goes to my situation, like work with the establishment, work something out, um be kind, and like you said with the situation, I mean, with the deep riding and like the street riding, me, I want to be a dick, but at the end of the day, that's not right. Like they have a business and there are rules. And unfortunately, I got caught up in the situation. And, you know, if you are caught and they clearly have evidence of you riding there, just be honest, put forth the effort of trying to, um, if you can fix the spot. If you fuck something up and they catch you and they're like, yo, like we clearly got you fucking it up, you know, give all the effort and attention to fixing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that like I should be, like I said, I was there. Can't deny that. I was honest with it. And, yeah, reach out to other people that might have been in the situation. I actually I hit up a lot of riders, with my situation and asked for advice. There's a lot of BMXers out there that have been in the situation and they can give a lot of great advice. So that was another thing. I reached out on Instagram, to other riders, and some of them reached out to me too. So try to get as much information as you can. That really helped out.
Hell yeah, man. I think you couldn't have put it any better, you know? It's a crappy situation to be in, but I think just the fact that you are kind of, you know, heading straight for it and that you're not denying it and that you're being very truthful and honest and saying, "Yep, that was me and let's fix this." I think that's the way to go, man. You're really you're doing awesome with it. So good for you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if there's anything that you want to plug right now, maybe throw out your Instagram, throw out the GoFundMe if people want to help you through your journey and your battle with, kind of what you're going through. Anything at all, you can let us know.
Right. Yeah, my Instagram it's simple. It's just Anthony, my first name, Hitchcock, my last name. That's my Instagram handle. Through there, I have a post that I made for my GoFundMe. Not something I really wanted to do, but at the end of the day, like I've had a lot of people hit me up about it, saying I should, and I found out, honestly, like through this situation, I never realized how supportive the BMX community has been. Like it's crazy. Like that also goes to show, like this is a community that I always want to be a part of because it's so supportive. People are so understanding, and yeah. So that's my Instagram, and through there you can, if you want to go to my GoFundMe. It's an optional thing. Much appreciated if you do. If not, it's cool. Like I still want people to hit me up through BMX, even if it isn't through that, and link up. I've had people wanting to link up through all this situation too, which is pretty dope.
Definitely, man. Yeah, I think it's hard not to when you see just how clean you pulled that combo off, dude. Like, honestly, that's what got me like so interested, was just the fact that it was like, holy fuck, dude, he actually pulled that so good too. Like, dude, awesome.
Right. I try to make any negative situation in my life a positive, and I'll do my best to make sure that people in Ashland or the surrounding towns don't have to deal with that. That's why I'm trying to go forth the effort to getting a skate park or something better involved in our community.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. I think that that's the right move to make. And, we're all stoked for you. And yeah, I'll leave the link to your Instagram as well as your GoFundMe in the description of this, just so that if any listeners want to at least give you a follow, dude, that would be rad, But yeah, again, Anthony, thank you so much for coming on the show. And, we really appreciate sitting down and chatting with you today. I think everybody's learned a thing or two,
Yeah, I totally appreciate you having me on here. This is a true honor. Like I said, I never expected me to be on a podcast, but yeah, I love what you're doing. And I definitely think you should keep on going. Like I said, I love the little quote that you support local underrated riders of the world. And to me, that's dope, because I'm the same way. Like I would support an underrated rider that doesn't have the opportunity to get the exposure. Like I would help them out. So that's dope what you're doing. I love it.
Hell yeah, man. BMX is not the top 5% of the clips that you see on Instagram. BMX is so much more than that. BMX is, the fucking local kid who shreds at the park. BMX is the local dude who's hosting a jam, BMX is anybody out there who's filming shit and just getting shit done. BMX is all about hanging out with your friends, learning new shit, and just keeping it positive. So that's the most important part, man. Sometimes, everybody gets we all look to like the newest, biggest clip and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, none of that shit matters, dude. It's all about, it's all about pedaling around and, hearing your cassette or, hearing those tires squeak when you do a 180, like all that shit. That is what makes BMX BMX.
It's the freedom aspect of it, man. It's so freeing,
Absolutely, man.
I think this was good that we did this. I feel like people should hear the situation rather than just see it through like a comment,
Yeah, definitely,
so
man.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, dude, no issues there. I'm really excited for people to kind of be able to sit down and really take in all this information and kind of understand your whole perspective, because just seeing something online, sometimes you don't really get it. You don't really think about it too much past like, oh yeah, guy went here, guy did this. You don't hear about the 13 years of like trying to get this, you know, and finally after meeting some of your biggest influences, you get the courage to go out and do it on your own and pull it off. I think that's a really cool success story in that way, right? I think that people need to see it as that and not all this negative bullshit that's come from it, you know?
Exactly. No, yeah. No, I appreciate, that's why I appreciate you coming out and getting a hold of me, because yeah, like you understood that there was a whole nother side to it that people need to hear. So
definitely.
But
yeah, man. And I think we're going to end it off here. So anybody who's listened this far, thanks for joining us today, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace out.